taking notes from you, it's like. Sorry. I'm good to go.
All right. Good evening. Today is February 25th, 2026, 6 p.m. We are in the Brecksville-Broadview Heights Education Board of Education, 6638 Mill Road, Brecksville, Ohio. Is there like an echo? Am I feeling like there's like an echo in here? This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Public participation is governed by Board Bylaw 0169.1, public participation at board meetings. This meeting will be live streamed via YouTube and will also be recorded for later viewing. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel where all recordings are posted. Item 1B, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 1C, roll call.
Mr. Chase?
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic?
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara?
Yes.
Mr. Dosen?
Yes. Moving on to item 2, President's announcements. I saw a couple of eastern bluebirds on my bird feeder this morning. I'm hoping that signs of spring is close. So other than that, I don't have anything. So we'll move on to item 2B. Do any members wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? No? Very good. We'll move on to item 3, board areas of responsibility, co-curricular, extracurricular, Lisa and Tish.
Okay, I think Tish and I both have things, but there's a lot to cover, so I'll also start first. As far as athletics, I know for boys basketball, girls gymnastics, wrestling are all suburban league champions. I'm sure there's other ones I'm missing though. Swimming and diving, 18 athletes advanced to the Northeast District meet. Rachel Curran won the district championship and she moves on to just defend her state title.
She's competing right now.
She like right now?
Right now.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yep.
That's exciting.
Yep.
And then the boys 200-meter relay team is at states. Are they competing tonight too, or is swim and dive separate?
It's diving today and Division 1 has already been completed. It's
Okay.
diving.
Okay.
That's-
For bowling, they didn't become suburban league champions, but they did have a record-setting season. Both the boys and girls teams surpassed their highest wins totals in school history. So I know they were really excited about that. For robotics, the team is going to compete in their 5th consecutive state championship on March 6th and 7th. All 8 of the high school teams qualified for the state tournament. And congratulations to Mr. Maslona. He was named the Northeast Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association Athletic Director of the Year. That's a mouthful, but for his leadership and dedication to student athletes. So congratulations to him. The athletic boosters, I think this is still correct. I know they had some meetings in February. They're looking for officers to support their board. I think there's 4 positions they needed filled. So they still want people to help and volunteer. That's one of the things they're looking to get people together is for concession stands. They used to have one person who did concession stands, but his oldest child is graduating. So now they want to get together a team of people to help with concession stands. So that's a big need. And they do a lot for our student athletes, for athletic programs. So it's a great program to support. For music, the Tri Music Honor Society had 15 students recently inducted. So that was exciting for them. Sorry, is there things I missed?
The other thing that I was going to add is that from all those championships, we have wrestling and states for gymnastics coming up here pretty quickly. We have wrestling on the agenda tonight that we'll be considering their state trip. So plug in and give them your well wishes.
And hot off the presses, Rachel finished sixth. So she
Okay.
finished sixth in diving. She was the state champion last year, so return trip, it's always harder to repeat. So,
Yes.
but she finished sixth, which is still an
Just
amazing
great.
accomplishment.
And I'm sorry, she's also a gymnast on
Yes,
the
I was gonna say,
team.
so she just competed at the state championships for diving and will compete for districts this weekend in gymnastics and states the week after.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
And she was a
to
state
be-
champion in two sports last winter.
yes.
Right.
Right, but yeah, to be competing in two sports in the same season, it's like
Right.
to excel in two sports
Rare.
overall, but even in like the winter season is amazing. So congratulations to her.
Way to go, Rach.
Yep.
Yeah, you covered everything.
Yeah, okay.
All that. Okay.
Okay, we'll move to curriculum. Tish.
That's me. Oh, so busy in curriculum, and it's all focused on professional learning. And that to me is very exciting because I think when you hear all of the professional development and professional learning that goes on for our teachers and how they really are so focused on enhancing their skills and deepening their learning for our students, it's just a very exciting thing that makes it is a huge factor in why BBH is so successful for our students. So to start off, on the 18th of this month, the last K-5 science curriculum review meeting was conducted. They have 3 curriculums left in the running, and they will be coming to a decision soon on our K-5 science curriculum. We're digging deeper into the writing revolution for K-5. So every certified staff will be trained March 20th. And it is the initial training. They will follow up with a second training in August and then a third in October. And what they are doing, what our staff are learning to do is to take that writing revolution and really deepen the learning for our students and writing in complete sentences, expressing thoughts. This is somewhat of a dying skill. So if anything, writing improves reading as well. So it's those two pieces dovetailing together. So deepening our writing revolution training, our intervention specialists at the middle school and our 5th grade intervention specialists at the elementary are engaging in iReady math training. And then on the 26th, tomorrow, the middle school and high school, I could be messing this up. We're doing 6 to 8 Amplify English language arts training. This training that they're going through with Amplify is aligned with our K-5 curriculum. And we are going to have both staff from the elementary school and from the high school there at the training with our 6 to 8 teachers because Dr. Martin is very focused on alignment. So what we're training now, how does that work up to our 9 to 12? And how do our teachers at the elementary make sure they're getting students ready for that curriculum at 6 to 8? So that's what makes you successful when you've got strong alignment with your curriculum. And then our district teaching and learning committee, which feeds to our building teaching and learning committees, they are looking at AI training really for 6 to 12 in departments. For us, by July 1st, we have to have an AI policy adopted. So we're trying to get ahead of that and providing some training for our staff as we figure out what type of policy we want to adopt. And then from this Monday, which was the 23rd of February, till the 27th of March, the community review is open for our proposed AP World History curriculum. So if anybody in the community is interested in seeing what curriculums we're looking to adopt for AP World History, which is 9th grade, 10th grade, 10th, 9th. Start taking in 10th. Okay. In 10th grade, stop up, contact Dr. Martin or his staff, and you can come in and review that curriculum. That's it for curriculum.
All right, great, thanks.
Mhm.
Cuyahoga Valley Career Center, I did reach out to Rachel. She said their meeting is tomorrow, so she doesn't have an update this month. So she'll hopefully join us next month with an update on CBCC.
Can I share one thing about the
Sure.
Career Center? I was looking through my PSO notes and Mr. Jacob had shared that application numbers remain high for CVCC. This is as of February 5th. There were 74 students that had applied for CVCC, which is great. So he said it's just getting so much more competitive and so many more kids want to attend. So
Great. Finance, myself.
We are still waiting for the state to review our financial audit that was done in December.
Okay.
So until they review it and sign off on it, then we're just in a holding pattern, but nothing new.
Okay. That's the finance update. Legislative OSBA liaison, Brad.
Yeah, just a couple of quick updates. The OSBA is going to have their state legislative conference in March, so March 24th. So board members are certainly invited to attend that. It's sort of some training in the morning and lunch with legislators. And then the afternoon is spent with meeting with legislators talking about issues that impact the schools in Ohio. So that's coming up if anybody's interested. There's 3 pieces of legislation that are sort of out there. There's lots of stuff going on in Columbus. House Bill 671, which you may have read about in the news, is sort of looking to go after schools that are pursuing legal action against the state for different things. So that could have some impacts. Right now it's sitting in committee. It hasn't really moved at all. The one thing that I left at your seats this morning, there's a piece about name, image, and likeness. That's moved a lot. They've had to hearings just yesterday where there was some testimony on that. So I think you'll see something come perhaps from that. And then there was another piece that came out just starting to limit or looking to limit the income levels for the EdChoice voucher expansion. So that right now is also sitting in committee, but those are things that are out there that would potentially impact us, but lots of other stuff going on.
So they're actually talking about limiting income on the vouchers. It's interesting.
Update.
Okay.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I did read that. Oh, yeah.
Five months. Okay, permanent improvement facilities, Brad and myself.
Yeah, just that we have, again, a number of things on the agenda tonight that I think we're going to get into more detail on the overall permanent improvements. I want to thank Craig for updating his section on the website. The permanent improvement section now of the website has a lot more information on it, explaining kind of where it's coming from as part of that Taxpayer Tuesday. There's some additional information out there, as well as pictures of the projects and explaining how we're maintaining our buildings and where this funding is going toward. So thank you for that.
Yeah, so then there is a lot we'll be talking about later today, this evening. We have the phase 2, the Hilton Drive coming into the main campus. We have repairing the tennis courts. We have roofing, asphalt. And then there's another one too that I'm thinking there's something else.
The further improvements further up the drive.
Okay,
That'll be part of the Hilton driveway project.
right. So stay tuned. We're going to get into more as the meeting unfolds. Moving on, PSO, Lisa.
All the PSO units are looking for volunteers to fill leadership roles. So some have executive board openings, some have committee chair openings. You can contact your building PSO if you're interested in that. And then even the council has several openings. So it's a great way to be involved and know more about what's going on in our buildings and support our kids and our staff. And then at the elementary school level, the PSO is doing their 4th annual book swap. So if you have children's books that you're no longer using and you want to donate them to a good cause, you can drop them off at the elementary school. Is that right? Like, okay. Drop them off at the elementary school. They're looking for books and reading levels preschool through middle school up to age 13. They specifically need books for grades 3, 4, and 5. And books have to be, clean and appropriate. And this is a really great program. They've done it 4 years now. And basically people donate books. They have tons and tons of volunteers come through, sort the books, put them all into sections, and then the kids come through and they can take books home. So I think like the littlest, like kindergartners, get 7 or 8 books. And then the older kids get a little less because there's not as much variety, but I volunteered at it before and the kids love it. It's so fun watching them go through and pick up books that are new to them. And it's just an exciting way to keep promoting reading and literacy. And thank you to PSO who organizes that, because it's a lot of volunteer hours to get everything organized and situated and to get all the kids through. So thank you to them. And that's all I have for PSO.
Okay, safety, Lisa and Ava.
I don't have anything, but I understand that Brad attended the lockdown drill, so maybe he can kind of give us an update on what he observed or how it went.
Sure. So I had the opportunity a couple weeks ago when the high school had one of their lockdown drills just to observe what we were doing in the buildings and how it was working. I left very impressed with the level of professionalism, the level of thought that went into the process, what we were testing, how we were thinking about the different scenarios. It was really enlightening for me to see the seriousness that we take this and actually watch it go through in practice. There were, I think it went very, very well. And even some small issues that were identified were, immediately fixed within like an hour. So I think there was one door when they went and checked doors that were locked, the door was locked, but the latch, you could still pull it open. And so within like an hour or so, a couple hours, that was adjusted so that it was actually, latching into things. So things like that, paying attention to the details. And the thought that this year's was, I thought, pretty interesting because they didn't do it where the kids were actually in a classroom. It was done during a change where kids were in the hallway. So that's a more, in my opinion, more of a real life scenario, how something might actually happen, to actually see how the teachers and students respond and if they're actually following what's going on. So we're very impressed with what's going on up there. And it's as much as it's unfortunate that we have to have some of these drills, I think the community can rest and feel good that we're doing a really good job in our buildings. So thank you to the high school team and the administration for getting that working very well.
And I know that there's a meeting coming up on Tuesday that is our second meeting of the year. So I'm sure we'll have more to report at
We
the next
continue to
board
use the
meeting.
strategic system that was used in that lockdown drill that Mr. Chase is speaking about, the screen takeover in the classrooms and the laptops and things like that. That worked without a hitch.
Great. Moving on to schools foundation, Tish.
It's a quick update for me tonight because the big event is tomorrow for the Schools Foundation. A Toast to Our Future is their big fundraising event. It's tomorrow night at Michelangelo's. If you're not able to get tickets, it was not sold out as of last week, but I think ticket sales are suspended at this point. How you can get involved is by going to our online auction, and you can do that through the website, which is www.bbhsf.org, and clicking on the auction, and you can bid on. They have so many things available, so many packages available. There you can name one of the street signs. We have 4 this year because the new Hilton Drive entrance will be in play. So there's going to be another street sign naming. What are some other really popular parking spots? If you've got someone at the high school that wants a posh parking spot, get on there and bid for that. That's usually highly popular. But this is really their big fundraiser for the year. And this is how they are able to fund grants and scholarships for our students and the grants in the classrooms for our teachers. So support them that way. And the only other thing that they asked that I talk about was they are still looking for trustees. So if you are looking to up your involvement in the schools, in any of our associated organizations like boosters, like PSO, like the Schools Foundation needs trustees, and they really would like to have someone join with a finance background of some sort. Good. That's it.
Okay, good. Sustainability, Brad and Ava.
Well, there wasn't really a lot of movement aside from the fact that we're waiting to hear the results of the grant that we had applied for. But Kathy Roderick, who is the teacher that is responsible for spearheading pretty much of the middle school efforts, did post a video of what she does during the day in terms of compostability. And basically, it's a lot of work, even at the middle school. I mean, what I came away with is I have no idea how we would do this at the elementary level, only because it requires so many different processes in order to get to the end result. So until we can figure out a good way of approaching this in a way that little kids can be involved and feel involved and become inculcated with a concern for the environment, with an awareness of sustainability and all of its features. It's not going to be a quick trip, I can tell you that. That's all I've got.
Okay. Transportation, myself, there are no appeals, so we will move on to item 4. Yep. Item 4, superintendent's communication. I'll turn it over to Jeff.
One quick one before we get into our presentation. Kindergarten registration opens on March 1st. So I know families that are in that season of life are anxious to get their little ones registered for school. But as a reminder, the kindergarten registration or age cutoff date will be the first day of instruction, which is August 19th this year. Remember, we used to be September 30th. Just last year, we changed policy to August 1st. And the state said it's all too confusing for families across the state. So we're going to make it much more simpler and just make it the first day of instruction, which sounds simple, but it is different in just about every district. For us, this year is August 19th. Families looking to enroll their child next year, we don't have the date yet because at the next board meeting, I'll be bringing to the board the next 2 academic calendars for the first read. It's a 2-read type of situation. And once we adopt those, that will be the 27, 28, and 28, 29 school year that I will be bringing you. And then once we approve those calendars, we will know when the age cutoff will be for kindergarten for those. So just let your neighbors know, March 1st, it all opens up. The vast majority of it is online. There are some new updates to deposits and payments and all that all can be found on our website. Everything is up to date and out on the website. Next, because of all the things and all the exciting things that are on the board agenda tonight, many of which deal with a lot of projects that are going to be taking place across our campus, mainly this campus this summer, I've asked Brian Koss to join us tonight. He is our safety and facilities coordinator. Jack of many trades, as I call him, because his hands are usually in most of what we're doing. And so I asked Brian to kind of just walk us through a little bit where we're at with the Hilton Drive project, as well as a couple other projects happening on this campus this summer. And then board members at that time, after he's done, anything that may have popped up on the agenda that you might want a little more detail, Brian is definitely the person to help us get to the bottom of it. So Brian, all yours.
All right, thank you for having me. Thank you, Craig, for putting this slide together. I copy and pasted it, and if you go onto our website, I believe it'll be on the pictures for our PI webpage. So thank you. Right into it. We're gonna go to the campus master plan, the new Hilton Drive. So we started off phase 1 with the demo of Hilton. That's done, over with. Now we're moving on to the Hilton Drive. Last board agenda, we approved bids to accept it. This one is just the signing on the contract for the contractor. It usually follows a little later. Legal reviews the contract, everything crosses the T's, dots the I's, and then it's just the official accepting the contract. But this is the roundabout that you'll see. You come up through Hilton up to the roundabout, which is over right behind the board office over here. A quick update, which is a surprising one. They came out today and did some tree removal. They took advantage of the recent freeze after the nice fake spring and removed the trees so they don't have to worry about sinking in the mud and all that. A lot of this project is due to weather, will be weather dependent. So we saw some progress. We got some stakes in the ground and they'll be taking advantage of any time they can get to complete some of this portion of this roundabout. The completion date for the roundabout or New Hilton Drive is the beginning of the school year. So it's planned to be open when student drivers are coming up to it for the first day of school. moving on to the next thing on the board agenda, you'll see an extra AVG contract. That is to add some additional work. So as the progress in the roundabout got approved, just cause and effect, we have some other portions of the campus that if all the traffic is being routed through the roundabout up through the stadium, it'll be next slide. I'll talk more about this. But we want to make sure we direct all traffic down coming off a mill into the roundabout. We don't want anyone cheating the roundabout and cutting through the bus parking lot. So to design a one-way along the outfield of the baseball field, which would be one way with a split bike walking path with some bollards, some curbs or not temporary curbs, but smaller curbs to keep walking traffic outside of outside of driving traffic.
And that is Dr. Martin in that photo up there, in case you were wondering.
It is specifically for Dr. Martin. No, at nice days, we've noticed that a lot of the middle schoolers like to walk down that road, get to the center of Brecksville. So this provides them a nice, clean, dedicated area to walk versus walking on the road, walking on the grass, kind of everywhere. So then the second portion, which will actually be on the next slide, is this Y. So currently the road comes up, it kind of goes to the left a little bit, and you have a real hard right-hand turn. If we're sending all the traffic through this way, that's going to be very hard for all our traffic to navigate. So we have to lessen this curve over here, make it a smoother drive, add a left-hand turn signal or left-hand lane for traffic getting up to the senior parking lot or the student parking lot. And then if you're a parent or a student drop off, you're coming up, bypassing, coming around over to here, which is the bus parking lot, and having a dedicated drop off lane. So if you have a middle school student, you can tuck and roll, get them out of the car, get back into traffic, go up to the high school and take them out of the car and continue on. Ultimately easing the flow of traffic. Right now, there's some cones kind of set up by the, if it was the previous slide, up by the baseball field. But we're going to stripe it out, dedicate it specifically for that parent drop off. So that's AVG's additional contract. This is just preliminary right now. They don't have the design. We have to approve their contract and then they'll work on the actual design on this.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Like, so that's the shelter, right? With the picnic table I'm assuming that's gone.
That will be gone.
Okay.
I'll take volunteers for the fundraising committee that would like to raise money to put a bigger one in over by the tennis courts. Yep, over in there.
Over there.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
We've discussed it. It's not part of this plan, but it's not just kind of going away.
To replace it at some point.
Yeah, we'll have to have those discussions at a later date.
Yeah, okay.
What it looks like, I think that's been there for 20 years or everyone I talked to says it's been there forever.
Yeah.
So
It's utilized quite frequently. So that's why.
It's not only on Friday nights, but it's also used by like cross-country
Yeah.
teams and tennis teams and things that are outside. So there is a need for a shelter. One that is a little larger than that would be more ideal. And if we could put it over towards the tennis courts, I think it would be used a lot more.
There's more parking over there too, right?
It'd be closer to parking, yes,
Yeah.
be closer to that larger lot. Yep.
all right, so moving on from the campus master plan, each year we've been doing asphalt improvements, addressing some of these potholes, some of the patches that have been patched and doing a mill and fill in dedicated areas. So this year on the books are right in front of the stadium and up the S curve into the staff parking lot of the high school. One of the reasons for this is if we have a new parking lot here, we should have a nice new drive up to a recently paved area. It provides just a smooth flowing traffic. The S curve's a little bumpy as it is right now. The other portion is from last year. We cut off our pavement for the middle school drive right about at the flagpole. Continue all the way down there. That again is a little choppy. And then the student or parent pick up and drop off with will rattle their teeth if you go through it a little too quick. So address the areas of potholes that we know need to be addressed. Continue on, we've been performing roofing replacements every year. This year is a small year, relatively speaking to the past couple of years. And it's just the middle school locker room area. So just a tiny one, but it's a roof that definitely needs it. Leaks in there, and it's past this expectancy, and trying to just chip away so we don't have any very excessive large ones like we've had in the past, such as the high school shingled roof and stuff like that. So we're chipping away at it. We're doing pretty good with the roofing projects. And the last one is the tennis court reconstruction. So since they were built, they have failed very quickly, sooner than they should have. We've performed several testing, had testing agencies out here, performed several tests, and we feel that it's time we need to take it into our own hands and repair it how it should have been done in the first place. So that is also on the board agenda to approve going out to bid for the tennis. And an honorable mention, it's not on the board agenda, but it was approved last board agenda or the previous one, the new turf. So we got approval to move forward with the turf, and we had a committee meeting, reviewed colors and all that. And this is where the team or the committee landed on. So I figured I'd show that up to you guys with the new B in the middle. The end zones are black with the red Bs, and having both boys and girls lacrosse in the field instead of having to paint them on the field like we do currently.
We brought in the coaches of the sports that play on the turf to help determine colors and placement. And I think they were flipping coins on who was going to use which color for their field markings. Some coaches said, yeah, the field looks great, except for those other lines that are on there, just teasing each other. But it was good to get their input. And this is a project that's much overdue. Be a major upgrade.
Yeah.
So that, and we have lots of other things. I didn't put them aside because they're not on the agenda, but it's going to be a very busy summer, to say the least.
Oh, good stuff. Thank you,
Exciting.
Brian. Any questions for Brian before you?
I have a question just to remind, those tennis courts failed within 3 years, didn't they?
Within 6 months.
With 6
Yeah.
months, yeah, within one, yeah. I was like, but it's been completely,
A pain.
So
Done.
I'll take this one. So yes, they have. They began to deteriorate very, very quickly. I think they opened that first fall that I arrived, and I think within a month we noticed premature cracking. And we have been working and continued to work with the contractors who installed the courts. We are at a disagreement with them on the reason for this. We have done every imaginable testing possible to help, find out why they have failed. And we believe we know why they have failed, and we are taking our own hands to replace or remedy the courts, and then we will figure it out after that. So, so we are working with the same architects that designed it the first time. They will be alongside of us. We will be very detailed in deconstructing the tennis courts to make sure that we take any photos or videos of anything that may be wrong so they can be corrected. But this is a major project that the school district did. We had local individuals donate money for this project as well. And if our community is going to trust that we do what's best with their resources they give us, we need to make sure we stand by and get a good product. And that's what we're trying to do now. We are going to try very hard not to interrupt either one of the boys' season in the spring or the girls' season in the fall. But it all dependent upon weather, because there is a portion of this project that when they get to a certain stage, it has to sit for 30 days to cure or to set or whatever the technical term is. So we will need some good weather to stay on schedule so that the fall next year is not interrupted. But if it is, we will adjust and we'll make adjustments. But in sake of those student athletes, they've been displaced for a good number of years prior to this project as well. So we are taking that into account, but at the same time, it's weather dependent.
so just question of clarification, when I said that they failed within 3 years, we were still able to have seasons.
Yeah.
Our athletes were able to still utilize them while they were
Correct.
failing.
They were playable, but I speak from personal experience. My son played against Brecksville here, and they moved matches on courts once they opened up to get off of certain courts. Because when you have that water sitting in the dips, it begins to mold and get slippery.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting once we get the real thaw out to see what further damage has been done with the freeze and thaw that has happened this winter. Yep.
And just the turf, when is the turf is supposed to go in?
It'll start on the 8th, June 8th, and once again, weather dependent, but it'll be in before the start of school. Unless we have just monsoon rain and just a terrible summer, but yes, that one, we picked that, Mark and I picked that date specifically because I believe the track season will be over on that date, and then we'll open it up so we don't have to close the track, don't displace them, and we'll open it up and start going to town.
Okay. And the asphalt and the roofing, that'll be done
That-
over the summer.
Yeah, we're going out to approve to go to bid. So once we go out to bid, then we'll accept bids and discuss that, but those will all be done before the start of the school year.
Very good.
I know we probably talked about this with the turf, but just refresh my memory. So for teams that practice on the summer on that turf and like the marching band and stuff, what's their backup plan?
We'll use parking lot and practice fields, for, on the backside of the visitors, stands as well as the parking lot. And what was the estimated, once they start to finish, if weather was good for turf, Brian?
4 weeks. So it
Oh.
it should be June to July, and July
okay.
1st it should be open. But everyone throws the comment in there at all weather dependent. So if we have a really good June, then it'll be open, and when teams come back in July, June is the slowest month for athletics. They can't have organized practices.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
specifically pick those dates. And we'll probably see the turf mobilize ahead of the 8th. That way the carpet, the infill, the sand is all on site, so they can peel it up on the 8th.
What's the last instructional day? You know,
Yeah, that first week of June, right after the holiday, a couple days after the holiday.
yeah, I can't remember.
We'll be out of school by then.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Very good. Thanks,
Thank
Brian. That's it then, Jeff? You're good?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to item 5, treasurer's communication. I'll turn it over to Craig.
It was like a little delayed there for a second. Just real quick, as you know, we did a resolution for claiming unclaimed funds from our good friends, the Cleveland Browns, and some of the money they may be able to get to, but we were able to do a claim fund with them. It was a little over $6,400, I believe, and what I found out was, one, it's still super not easy. So if you want the real details, tune into the podcast because I go through a little bit more detail, but they sent me another form I had to sign and get notarized, and then they already sent us the check and we got interest on it.
Excellent.
So it's not a ton, but the total was a little over $7,000. So we've received the unclaimed fund claim that we filed. So it's good stuff.
How did we discover that we had unclaimed funds?
So it became a big item after the
Yeah.
legislation and people saying Browns and you should go look. And so people started in the communities going through and treasurers, people individually, if you've done it yourself, you can find all of these things out there. So I guess if the community has also not looked, to go find your unclaimed fund information and see if you have any out there. My parents get a little more than I do. I didn't actually get any, unfortunately. But you can start the process to do a claim personally or through like the district or a business or whatever. So we went through that process. Some of the claims were pretty old, so the district has not done it in a very long time. Of course, I made myself a little checklist of how to, we can check every year, we can check every 2 years, and there's also legislation going through right now that they're supposed to be trying to make the process easier because it is not an easy process as it stands, and I think that's partly why people don't file for unclaimed funds because it's a very difficult, tedious process. I mean, even the board resolution, my driver's license, my school ID, an affidavit, all of that stuff was not enough. I had to get another form sent to me just to do it. So I think some of it is access, but it can be done. Yeah. Oops, wrong one. Okay, I will hopefully zip through this a little bit since we do have the 5-year forecast. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go, I think. Why is that? There we go. The 5-year forecast, or the financial forecast is coming up a little later. So this is just the month for February, all the way through January of 2026. This is our cash position, and where we are currently. I have bad news from the county to share necessarily. It's not all bad news, but our cash balance right now is the lowest that it's been, just because the county is continuing to delay these payments. So we were expecting $6 million in tax advances, and we got $2 million. This was not just us, this was all of Cuyahoga County. People are a little bit of an uproar in terms of why we're not being advanced more of the money. So our investment person reached out and was like, do you need cash? Because everyone's asking for cash. And we're going to scrape by. We have payroll this week, and then we'll have another payroll hit. So we will be down to a very, very low amount of cash on hand. Doesn't mean we don't have money. It's just that that's what's not invested. And we're trying, obviously, to not have to pull any money out of investments or any other bank accounts, because we've never had to do that. But part of that is being restricted. And that's why you can see the cash balance right now that is dipping much lower than it has. But it will start to tick up here once we get the final settlement, which is in March, which again does not necessarily say we're getting less. It's just the timing of all of this and how we receive our funding. So January revenue highlights. Our revenue totaled $1.6 million. An increase of $165,000 compared to January of 2025. That actually, from the January part of this, was a little bit more than what we got the previous year from the county, but not very much money. And then now we've gotten the February payment, which is much lower. So it's only kind of gotten worse right now, at least for what's on hand. Everything overall, though, is still fine. We've got some increased state funding month to month as they've rolled in all these the performance guarantees. We've gotten a little bit more, and that's reflected also in the forecast, which I'll talk about later. Interest income has continued to decline a little bit, especially because, again, we're not getting the money up front. So it is taking a hit. You'll see it on the next reconciliation that we do, because our cash balances are so low. We're losing the interest part of this. The investments are still fine, but again, this still does have financial impacts on the district when our actual local operating money is low as well. So that is forcing us to adjust some of our interest income that we receive each month as we're getting delays in the money that's supposed to be coming. So overall, though, again, according to the forecast, we have a positive, favorable variance of about $982,000, which a large part of that, as we've talked about before, is around the $595,000 we received sort of unexpectedly from the county. On the flip side of that, from the reappraisal that was done, there was a newspaper article. We've discussed that. That is the bulk of that variance that is there. On the expenditure side, we've continued to spend efficiently. Everything is mostly tracking according to plan. The full year projected expenses are at $57.9 million at the time when I did this, tracking $69,000 over the forecast, which is obviously a very, very 0.1% variance. Personal services was down $350,000 year over year for the month of January. Most of that is due to the fact that we have shifted our severance payment, which always hits in January. So that severance payment came out of the 035 fund. Which is why you see a decrease here. It's not that it wasn't anticipated or planned. It's just that it's coming out of a different fund when we made that transfer to the 035 fund at the end of last fiscal year. So that is the reason why it is a decrease of salaries, because that is severance comes out of a salary code, and that's where it would hit on the forecast. And it was also our final 3-pay month before we switched to 24 pays later this year. So that was January was our official final 3-pay month that the district will experience. So that cash flow next year, like I said, will even out. Purchase services where we were a little bit less, $61,000 year over year, again, mostly due to timing. And then employee benefits slightly higher due to that 3rd pay month, which is normal. So you obviously have additional funds coming out for the 3rd pay of SERS and STRS benefits and Medicare that are affected, and that's why the employee benefits are higher year over year. And then I think this is the last, maybe not the last one, sorry. The key takeaways and outlooks. We demonstrate strong fiscal discipline with revenue outperforming our forecast, which is good. Cost control measures are in place with our expense tracking within 0.1% of our budget. Liquidity position, we still overall at the end of the year have about 121 days of cash at the end of the fiscal year. And then by popular demand or request, I have included this is where a lot of this information is being compiled from. So If you want us to look at the older reports that I used to generate, they are attached here as well, in the same previous format. Any questions? Good. Okay. All right. And then lastly, the cash position and annual spending plan are attached for your review.
Very good. We're going to move on to item 6, community communications, 6A, hearing of the public. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak this evening? Do we not? No, nothing? Okay, so we'll dispense with the reading of the hearing of the public spiel, and we'll move on to item 7, consent agenda. Item 7A, resolve to approve certified personnel recommendations. Item B, 7B, resolve to approve classified personnel recommendations. Item 7C, resolve to approve supplemental personnel recommendations. Item 7D, resolve to approve the check register and bank reconciliation as attached. Item 7E, resolve to accept donations as presented. Item 7F, resolve to approve the minutes from the January 21st, 2026 regular board meeting as attached. Item 7G, resolve to approve consent items 7A through 7F. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Going through a couple of these in a little more detail. We'll start with the certified staffing agenda. I guess the big news for tonight is we have a hire on here that I'd like to kind of spotlight a little bit. And the reason why we have a few extra people in the seats tonight, but it's my honor tonight to recommend to you, the Board of Education, Beth Adams to fill the assistant principal at the primary school. Beth has been in district for upwards of 26 years, has been an outstanding educator in the classroom, has just come with flying colors and recommendations from all of her colleagues on this move. We're glad she's willing to take the chance at this point in her career to leave the classroom and come join the administrative ranks. But I think what's most satisfying about this is our strategic plan working out and is visible. And what I mean by that is part of our strategic plan, it was very important for us as a district to provide leadership opportunities for staff members. And Beth was one of our 2 teachers on assignment. The other teacher on assignment is actually in the room as well, and that's Jody Tomsick. So both Jody and Beth for 2 years have done an outstanding job helping us roll out CKLA, our new K-5 ELA adoption. But the work actually went a lot deeper than just CKLA. Their work and their leadership was evident in the building and in the district, both up, down, left, and right. And that what speaks of true leadership is when you can lead on all levels. And they did a lot of work with our admin team and our teachers to just help create a better environment, not only in our elementary building, but across our district. And we're in a great spot, and they're just 2 shining stars in that. And now after tonight and after your approval, Beth will join the administrative ranks and get to see all the fun behind the curtain and help us continue to lead the district. But I'm honored that she was willing to take this risk and take this jump. They did it when they were teachers on assignment, going, well, I don't know about this. What do you mean this teacher on assignment thing? But then we just happened to have an opening because our sir, Mr. Hartland, sitting right here, is leaving us at the end of the school year, going off into retirement. We wish him the best as well. But as you can tell, it's a tight-knit group at the elementary. There's many of them in the audience here to support Beth in this decision. So that's the big news on this certified one. Besides, I got my new credential for OPES. That's got to be important. That's exciting stuff to put on a board agenda. So, but outside of that, we do have some retirements. So we have 4 additional retirements on this agenda. The dynamic duo of Julie and Mark Fields from the high school are retiring and going off into retirement together. Lynn Clapper, elementary school counselor. And then we also have on there Kimberly Penna from the elementary school intervention specialist. So we wish all of them much success and in retirement, and I'm sure August 19th will be a very good day for them. Classified side, again, nothing crazy or out of the ordinary, some revisions, some recommendations, different positions across the district, a few resignations and some retirements as well. Again, thank you for the many years of service. As you can see on this, we have 25, 23, and 22 years of service as a bus driver, secretary, and special education assistant. So these individuals as well have dedicated a lot of time, energy, and effort to our students in our district. Supplemental side, we're going to see many of our spring coaches on here from the sports of baseball, lacrosse, tennis, track, and so on and so forth. That's all I have on the consent agenda.
Good. Okay, I'll spare everyone the reading of the check register this month, but those are the check register and the bank reconciliation are attached. Donations, I will let you kind of read through some of these babies. There are a lot this month, so I will kind of slowly scroll here versus reading all of these, but we have some very generous people that have donated in the past month. This was a pretty big month for a lot of these donations to various groups and organizations throughout the district. So very many thanks to them. Big list. Okay. And then lastly are the minutes from the January 21st board meeting, which are attached. Oops, any questions?
Comments or questions? No. Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes. The agenda passes 5-0.
No turning back now, Beth.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, if anybody wants to leave now, that's fine. No one will be offended. If you want to stay, that's fine too.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to item 8, superintendent's recommendations. Item 8A, resolve to adopt new board policy, final reading. Is this?
Motion.
Not it. Yeah, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so this is,
Just a day policy.
yeah,
It just is in policy what
Yep.
we've been doing for a long time
right.
on the topic of head lice. Exciting topic.
Any comments or questions? Roll
But I'm
call.
glad we
Oh,
have it.
yes.
That's important that we have that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick.
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8B. Can you scroll up? a
sorry.
little? Oops. Resolve to approve the proposal for professional design services for the repair of tennis courts as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just to allow us to continue doing the work to repair the tennis courts.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8C, resolve to approve the architectural design proposal for professional services for parking lot modifications, entry drive as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And again, this is some of what Mr. Koss went over. And just as a side note, a lot of these modifications are being funded through the bid day savings that we had from the bidding of the Hilton driveway.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8D. Resolve to approve the proposal for professional design and consulting services for the 2026 middle school roofing project as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
As Mr. Koss said, this is a very small roofing project, and small in the world of roofing is $118,000.
Yes, very small. Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8E, resolve to approve the proposal for professional design and consulting services for the 2026 pavement improvement project as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just moving right along.
Yep.
$126,000 worth of projects.
Comments or questions?
Just clarification, this is for the design and consulting, but the entire cost is 126?
Yeah, yes, the
Okay.
design and consulting is 10,000,
Okay.
but then with 100,000 in project estimate and contingency of 16 gives us a total of 126,000.
But this is just the design and consulting.
Uh-huh.
Correct.
That we're-
It goes along with the
Later
bid one
on.
later.
with it,
Yep.
But this
Yeah.
is what we're approving tonight. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just need to put it in
Yeah.
the bucket where it's okay.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8F, resolve to approve the 2026-2027 Ohio High School Athletic Association membership resolution as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
This is a yearly activity just to continue our membership with OHSAA.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Oops. Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8G, if you hit that blue arrow,
Up
it
there?
takes
Sorry.
you up
Oh.
to.
There we go.
Resolve to approve the University of Akron CCP MOU for the 2026-2027 school year as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just our yearly agreement with the
Yep.
University of Akron.
Comments or questions?
My only question is, we will see more of these partnerships with other universities coming throughout the year, right?
Yes.
Or next year
Yep, and
Okay.
we've even had a couple prior to this.
to this.
Yep,
Okay.
they come in at whenever the colleges process them.
Yeah, I remember.
Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8H, resolve to approve the Cuyahoga County Community College CCP MOU for the 2026-2027 school year as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8I, resolve to approve the high school wrestling team trip proposals as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
These are just for our wrestling teams, both the boys and the girls. One for state tournament, one also for the team tournament that already happened. But again, these trip proposals kind of lay out when they're going, where they're staying, estimated costs. The athletic department does cover a vast majority of the cost for these trips, but there are times where each individual team will do something unique while they're gone. Maybe a special dinner, a senior dinner, or something where they may go kind of outside of what we traditionally cover. And in that case, it's covered by their fundraised dollars.
Any comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 8J, resolve to approve the updated administrative personnel guidelines as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Here, we had to make a few adjustments when you bring somebody into the administrative ranks from within the district who has 26 years experience in the classroom. Some way, shape, or form, we have to adjust sometimes our schedules to make it at least that they're making at least $50 more than they were making in the classroom. I'm being facetious there, but we had to make a few adjustments to accommodate that. And we took this opportunity as well to define the preschool and gifted coordinator, which before that individual was classified as an assistant elementary principal. We just retitled it at the same factor. And then we did change a factor for elementary assistant principal slightly to allow the hire that we just made earlier.
Any comments or questions?
So will that affect Beth and the other?
It only affects Beth.
Okay.
Yep.
'Cause
As
I'm
far
very-
as rates or
Okay.
payment.
But there are two assistant elementary school principals, right? Or am
Yes,
I-
it's a little bit of a unique situation.
Okay.
So Beth is coming in. She's classified as an elementary assistant principal. Tina McCauley is who you're thinking of as the other assistant. She's actually an elementary principal
Oh.
because in the consolidation efforts prior to my arrival, they were all principals.
Right.
Right.
So, and they were left at that level. And then as they move on or retire, the replacements come in at a lower factor.
And Lisa Mullica would be the gifted
Mhm.
person.
Yep.
Was she designated as a principal or,
Her contract was
preschool?
assistant.
oh, it was
It
a,
was assistant elementary principal is where it was on the administrative pay schedule.
right,
So that's where she was slotted with that factor.
got
So
it.
now we've just redefined it so it actually fits her job description.
Okay,
But it's the same factor that it was.
got it. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9, treasurer recommendations. 9A. Resolve to authorize advertisement of bid specifications for tennis court repairs. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
any questions?
Yeah.
I feel like
Kinda went through.
right now.
Yeah, we kind of covered all of this, so.
All the good stuff.
Yep. Any,
I was getting confused.
yeah, any comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9B, resolve to approve bus purchasing resolution as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
so this is for 2 special education buses for next year, paid out of permanent improvement.
Comments or questions?
Will we get these on time? Have we?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that stuff has mostly all been resolved. So actually, we almost are delaying it because they are back on schedule. So we're gonna basically order it now and we'll have it by July, August. So it's come back pretty good.
Good.
Roll call. Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9C, resolve to approve the van bid resolution as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
so this will be going out to bid. This will be replacing one of our older student vans and then also purchasing an additional one based on need for the district to transport students.
Where do we buy our vans from?
That depends on how the bid comes back, but there's a couple vendors, I'm assuming, right? We have
Okay,
that we work with.
okay.
Yeah, last one. Yeah, cheaper.
Could have been. Sometimes we've done Valley.
Okay,
So as long as they're from the bid list, then we can do it.
okay.
And are these primarily student?
These are student vans we're talking about.
Okay, that's.
Yeah. Sometimes we buy maintenance vans, but these are student vans.
Do these require any special modification or are they just full-size vans?
They're designed, they have specifications they have to meet. Passenger constraints, number one, you can't have too many. I forget what the number, what's the number? Is it 9 in a driver or 8 in a driver? 9 in a driver, there we go. Let's talk. So yes, they meet
Rachel,
all of
ask
those
too much about vans.
specifications.
Are these specifically dedicated to, are these special education vans or are these for?
Vast majority, yes.
Okay,
But they can be
Or
used for
sometimes
athletic,
homeless students,
okay. Yeah,
but sometimes athletics
that's why I wondered if they were athletic.
after school, yeah.
Okay.
Student transportation obviously takes precedent over, but yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9D, resolve to authorize advertisement of bid specifications for the 2026 middle school roof replacement, section 05 locker room roof and section 06 door 20 entrance roof. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Same thing. This was what was covered earlier. So any comments or questions?
I just have one question, is just how much of the roof is left to replace? Would you say?
Oh, I'd have to look at the numbers, but we're getting there. We're probably middle school roof, or just off the cuff and say we're about 75% done. None of the big ones are done, so now we're plucking away at the smaller ones. That's where it's getting, you're seeing a small roof here. Where that's where we're trying to stay within budget of, all right, let's not do two, we can't do too big or too small ones, it's too much, so we'll do. All the little smaller pieces that we're able to get them. We're in good shape. It's a TLC roof was next year's.
What's what's the life expectancy for the, like, once this piece is replaced, when would it have to be fixed again?
25 years.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9E, resolve to authorize advertisement of bid specifications for 2026 pavement improvement project. Base bid, middle school main drive, alternate number 1, middle school pickup, drop off apron, alternate number 2, middle school pickup, drop off area, pickup, drop off drive, alternate number 3, high school S curve, alternate 4, high school stadium drive, paint striping, district wide. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So the reason why you see a lot of those alternates with this is just based on how the bids come in. Hopefully, we're doing all of it, is the plan.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen,
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9F. Resolve to approve the resolution designating Dollar Bank as a primary public depository for active, interim, and inactive funds, and designating the Huntington National Bank, First Financial Bank, and JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. as public depositories for interim and inactive funds for the period of February 1st, 2026 through February 1st, 2031, as presented in the attached resolution. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So this is supposed to be done every 5 years. We've been with Dollar Bank now for 5 years as our primary depository. And then we're just getting all of these on the same cycle. We are using Huntington National Bank only right now for SHC, but we're designating them just in the event that they would be able to in the future help us with CDs or other investment opportunities. But right now, as a district, we're not really utilizing them. First Financial is formerly Westfield Bank, so that is why that is on there. But we have one account with Westfield, and then JP Morgan Chase is who our credit card is through, which requires us to have a no fee checking account just with them to be handled. So this will put all of these on the same thing. You would see this every 5 years, which is required by Ohio Revised Code.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9G.
Whoops.
Resolve to approve the addendum to the EduTech Master Service Agreement as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
EduTech is who provides our technology services throughout the district, and this is an addendum to add some service to help manage our student information system. We had a opening going into the school year, and then we had a resignation, which leads to the need to have additional help in managing our student information system. That's what this is. It's for a total of $16,000 additional, which is actually a savings from what we would have been paying the previous person who occupied this spot.
Comments or questions?
Were you looking to do this long term?
We shall see. It's kind of our test, see if it'll work and if workflow will be appropriate.
And this is only through September 30th as of right now. So that's the test.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9H, resolve to approve the Xenix cybersecurity software package administered through EduTech as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So this is just the same things that we have for our current cyber suite, which includes like our EDR and endpoint detection systems to help protect the district's technology assets. There was a slight increase to this. Our contract expired basically, so that's why this is just re-upping that contract. However, we also are going to utilize, as a part of that in cost savings, we're going to utilize TechGuard, which is a new program for phishing and phishing training, which is offered through the state free of charge. So we're taking that off of the cyber suite and moving to TechGuard, which they're in the process of doing right now. And then some of these the storage and some of we had additional units that were on this increased the cost, but the total cost is still a little bit of a net savings to the district when that happens together.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9I. Resolve to approve the attached service contract with Repay for vendor payment services. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So this is a contract to help. They are going to assist in paying vendors for us and taking on some of that risk. This is going to change just a little bit for us. It's basically for our business to business payments, which would be either check or ACH or virtual payments. I did a little bit more digging into this in terms of how they make their money. But basically there's rebates for our vendors that would take a virtual card, which we split with Repay to offset the costs of this. So they have indicated to us in the analysis of the vendors we use that this will cost the district no money. It could potentially even be a net positive of a miscellaneous $1,000, $2,000 a year. But they have indicated that it would not cost us anything. There's no, if we decide we just want to stop using them, we can. So we're going to test this out pretty slow with just a couple vendor payments, see how everything goes. And if it goes well, the good thing about this is that they vet everybody. They take on all that risk for check fraud as well as any type of ACH or cyber fraud that's happening through this process. So other districts are using services like this, or they're using another program we use for checking vendors, which is called Bonefish. I don't know why it's called Bonefish. I really don't know. It's a strange name, I think, to check vendor payments, but they offer something similar. We went through that process to evaluate this with them. After they did their analysis, because their actual fees per transaction are higher, would cost the district anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000. So I said, even if it technically would cost us $1,000 to do this, I think it would be worth it in the end. So we're going to try it out and see, just because, again, they're taking on all that risk. Like in case a vendor says they want to change their ACH information, they have experts that verify all that information, and we're basically off the hook. So,
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9J. Resolve to approve the Platform Cement, Inc. contract for the Campus Master Plan Phase 2 New Hilton Drive project as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just the
Any
contract.
comment? Any comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9K, resolve to approve the disposal of equipment as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
These are just science, or not science of reading, wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opposite.
Yes.
The things we can't use anymore.
Yes.
I'm like, boy, that's like
Neat.
throwing it back, like, look at that, like.
Yes.
like LOL.
That'll be 5 years. It'll be 5 years from now, we'll be saying
Well,
that.
Yeah.
I know, well, like, why'd we get rid of those?
Right.
Comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelick,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara.
Yep.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9L, resolve to approve the updated forecast as submitted and attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, the main event. I mean, it's really not super, super exciting, unfortunately, which I guess is good. Let me go navigate over here. So this is basically just, a lot of this has really made sense to do a comparative analysis to the October forecast. Especially because it seems like we just did this just a few months ago. It's not even 6 months. So really a lot of stuff has not changed. So I will kind of unfortunately go through this quickly unless you guys have questions. But the purpose, law, and planning of this, we are still doing 5 years for the board and for our community. But of course, it is no longer the 5-year forecast, and it is the current year plus 3 additional years. But this kind of goes through what the specificities of Ohio Revised Code say, as well as our filing deadlines as per House Bill 96. This year was October 15th and the end of February. Next year, it will move to August and February, as indicated by law. The purpose of it is obviously to engage our community. so that they can see this and make sure that they can ask questions during that time or before and after is fine with me. It also has the basis of the 412 certificate, which is the basis of signing Ohio Revised Code contracts to make sure that we can afford them. And then also it provides state oversight. So the forecasts that are submitted go to the state of Ohio, to ODU, and also to the Auditor of State's office, where they help identify schools that are in fiscal distress. That is not us. Also, as the disclaimer that this forecast is a snapshot as of today, built on historical trends, and they can change at any time. Which is why we talk about finances every single meeting. Jeff loves it. Loves it. So what has changed? We did have a slew of House bills that have passed and have been signed into law, and some of them are effective already or becoming effective within the next month. They are all outlined here for you. I will just give you the cliff notes of this. Is House Bill 186, House Bill 129 do not affect or have any impact on us here at BBHCSD. Also, House Bill 309 could affect us. There's no impact yet. Cuyahoga County has not made the choice of imposing this on school districts or public entities in Cuyahoga County, so that's why I said yet. There is also no indication that they will do that. So we hope we're unscathed by House Bill 309. And then House Bill 335 is the inside millage cap. We're not really sure 100%. There's no adverse impact here yet. It will find out at the next reappraisal, which if you also saw the news, we're being pushed back to balance out the different counties. So our next reappraisal, full reappraisal will not be until 2031, I believe. So that is when that'll take effect. And it's only if our growth is above the GDP deflator, which they estimate is around 7 to 9%. So this would have affected us, for instance, at this last one when our averages between the two cities was about 22%. Our inside millage would have been capped at the GDP deflator amount. And so it will have some impact. This is just not, it's not great news, but it's not, this is definitely not the worst news. There are some districts that are, I watched a forecast this week where I watched their revenues go from 75 million to 73 million to 70 million across the board, as these specific legislative items are drastically cutting their amount of money from property taxes. So we are not in that situation, which is good. General fund revenues, again, just comparing these between the two. The revenues are modestly higher in the February 26 filing. Again, I've updated this to include that payment that we received from the county auditor. The real estate is a little bit less. Part of this is because we don't know yet. So we're being a little bit conservative. It's a very, very slight downtick, as well as they're seeing some increased, the people who don't pay their, what am I saying? Delinquencies, couldn't think of that word. Delinquencies, they're seeing higher amounts. So they've cut this back just a little bit on the real estate line. Unrestricted state aid, we do see a little bit of a bump here. It's not because they gave us more money. It's just that they continue to refine the formula that they already passed by state law. In both formats, you will see that the $6 million capital fund transfer that we did in June is still in both forecasts at the same time in fiscal 28. So this graph kind of gives you a quick update of the left is October, the lighter color red is the current forecast, and those are all the different line items or total revenues that are here. So there's very, very little changes from what happened in October in terms of what we're projecting for the revenues throughout all the different fiscal years we have. Revenues, expenditures, and cash balances. You can see that we did have a peak of our cash balance of almost $27 million in fiscal 24. We made that large transfer in fiscal 25, despite trying to figure out how we were going to figure out the laws that were maybe changing with a cap on how much carryover we could have. So that has been maintained, and that has dropped. That's why our cash balance is much less. Our 26 and 27, we should see are between this year and next year. This year looks a little bit better because of those revenue increases I talked about earlier. But next year, it does show a relatively large deficit, which would bring our cash balance down to $15 million. If there would be no levy in the district by line 7.02, no new levies, that would approach $134,000 would be all that we have left in February of 2026, effectively having a zero operating reserve. So that is why you will see where it is projected in here of in a minute to see how that does affect us.
Go back, right?
Sure.
February of 2026.
I was like,
Oh.
2026. I was like,
Oh, that needs to say 2030. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's 2030.
I'm pretty sure we're better than.
Not 2026. If that was happening, I would be having a stroke.
You're taking it very well.
I'll update that. Sorry. So expenditure comparison, where the money goes. Spending assumptions are here. You can see, as we've talked about before, wages and benefits are the largest bulk of what we spend money on. The total of that is about 86%. You will see that those are currently reflected in what our base percentage increases are for this year, which is 2.85% for certified. It's 3% for classified. Next year is 3.25% for certified, 3% for classified in 27. As has been since I've been here, we've projected and planned at least for 1.75%, not as a negotiating item or bargaining chip, but it is what we at least plan for of an increase from 28 to 30 that is as a part of this. Keep in mind that there are still increases to this in terms of what the costs are in terms of inflation with supplementals, steps, and column changes that happen yearly. So the impact can be higher. Benefits. We've updated this to basically include our healthcare enrollment that we currently have this year and how we're trending. But also keep in mind too that we made a step this year to go from 15% employee share to 16% employee share. And then next year there's another 0.5%. So it'll move down to the district paying 83.5% in next fiscal year. So that is some savings. However, again, while suburban has stabilized, which is good, I'm really hoping that next year is not another double-digit increase, but we've had 2 years of double-digit increases in benefits, which is still a very large line item for us, which is causing that number, the expenditures to be a higher percent overall. Anything else on there? Most of the stuff is aligned, which is good. And then our ending cash balance, again, if you look at the difference of these lines when you're looking at the forecast, which is also, again, attached in detail, but line 7.02 is basically if there is no levy that happens of what would take place by 2030. I have to change that too because it's February 2026. And then line 15.0 talks about if we would put what has been modeled here is a 5.9 mil operating levy in sometime in the calendar year of 2027, which would be either a May or a November issue. We would collect only the first half of that when that would start collecting in 2028. That would keep us with an unreserved balance that could reach $25.7 million by fiscal 30. Remember, that also assumes we're transferring that $6 million back into the general fund. So just to keep that in mind, that does assume that. And then we would start to deficit spend several years after that on the upswing. So again, this will be things that Jeff and I have to continue to assess and provide to you as the board, because the board is the one who make the decision as whether or not we will go on the ballot and when, and we'll continue to update this every 6 months for you to also use that as a tool. But this is where we've at least placed it. And we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, I believe, of here's what it looks like if we delay a year. Here's what it looks like if we keep it the same in somewhere in calendar year 27. So we both agreed, at least for right now, where it would go. State funding uncertainty, we still don't know. Next year, it's going to go to 100% of the fair school funding, but don't forget, those base cost inputs are not going to be updated. So they will still be treated like it is fiscal 22, which then says the local community can pay more than the state. And so the state share of what they will contribute will continue to be less. We are on the floor of that, so we should maintain. But again, this also extends beyond multiple biennial budgets that we'll be dealing with, potentially a new governor of whoever it is, but we will have a new governor because ours will be term limited. So that'll all depend on what state funding looks like. So most of that has remained constant throughout the forecast to at least keep some stability, but we really don't know. Our labor agreements are in place till 27. I know Jeff's really excited about, a year from now when we'll be doing that dance again. We don't have any debt service planned, and capital outlay is funded again primarily by permanent improvement, which really, we've really maximized how we use those dollars. We've really maximized how we use the building fund. Again, you can tune into the podcast and listen to Mr. Cost talk all about it because he'll be coming out in his debut performance here soon when it launches. But we kind of talk about all of these things, and we've really kind of started planning, I think, very proactively to get the district into good shape. Happy to take any questions that you have. No? Okay, no questions?
So thorough, I don't.
Yeah.
Have to digest it.
Digest it.
All right, go ahead.
Say, I mean, obviously, we're gonna have some decisions to make, within a year, but we continue to do okay, do well, and we're in a much different situation than other districts, and I think that that is something to be
Luckily.
appreciative of.
Yeah.
So, even even every little thing you do to go try and find us money, is appreciated. Scouring money from the Browns, I love it,
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the legislation that did get passed relating to property taxes and whatnot, we were able to kind of get through that without too much harm. So that keeps our financial boat afloat a bit longer before we have to start looking at additional revenue. So.
And I mean, Jeff has said it and I agree completely. It's just that weirdly enough, not that you could have predicted it, but the board's change to these years ago to the continuing levies is what really protected this district with where it is today, because those are the only things so far that are not being attacked. That legislation on continuing levies is still somewhere in the legislature
Right.
that's sitting, which we hope it stays there, but we kind of went by unscathed so far. And they said more is coming too, so.
And there's a lot of management within the district as well. The boards prior to this, the superintendent treasurer prior to us, the decisions to do the continuing levies, the decisions to consolidate the elementary buildings. Even staffing decisions that we make every spring. I mean, we're trying to do everything possible to use the resources that we're given in most economical and efficient way. And it's not a matter of will we be on the ballot? It's more of, when. Yeah. So, and Craig and I continue to have those conversations, looking at the forecast, looking at how things trend out, but it will be during the calendar year of 27, either May or November.
Yep.
When we would be the soonest we'd be requesting new monies.
Any other comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9M, resolve to approve the budget adjustments as attached for both revenue and expenditures. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Happy to answer any questions. Brad, did you understand these just because I know you're new to the board, or would you like me to explain them a little bit? Like, sure. So we take a look at, especially because of the it could be a good refresher for everybody. This kind of also shows you kind of where we've been. So when we started the fiscal year in July, the column in green was where we kind of thought we were going to be, which we usually do this a little bit on the low side in terms of total resources. So I'm starting with the revenue adjustments first. And then this also outlines all of the different funds that we have in the district, from our capital, which is our permanent improvements are 003, our building fund is our 004, the campus master plan is an 070, food service, this is every fund that we have in the district. We started off, here in the green column. Then in October, when we did the forecast, we updated those numbers with what we knew to be better or more accurate. Some of this was then updated with grant funds. Now we've just gone through and I just updated it again in February with our grant, because our grant fund allocations changed a little bit as well. So you see some small modifications here. So what is being asked is really what is the modification now in February from what we asked for, or in terms of what we thought we would have for total resources or total revenues, which includes the cash balance plus any revenues that are coming in. So it's what the cash balance starts with plus anything we're going to bring in for that year by fund. So in total, especially because we do have now the suburban healthcare funds, it's a total of $200 million, but suburban is 026, which we are the fiscal agent for, which takes up the bulk of that. So it's a total increase of revenues of 1.5 million across all funds in terms of what we're requesting for the modifications. This now will go on to the county and they will certify this once they've compared the revenue adjustments to the expenditure adjustments, which are the same. So this is then, what do we think we're going to spend? And in the red column, it would be our total appropriations that we had for July. It's where we started the fiscal year at. And then we updated it to here, and then we updated it one more time. So they're really kind of small adjustments overall, as you can see. But it's kind of the same process. So then what they do at the county is they make sure that at the end of this, that we basically have revenues that exceed expenditures during the appropriations process. So these just get updated. They've asked, this is the first year we're doing it like this because they've said that when you do your forecast, you really should update your appropriations to make sure that if you went today, what's in appropriations in the new appropriations for February, that's what's in our finance system. So those two things match. And so that's what they want to make sure that's happening. There are many school districts that don't do that on a regular basis. And so that's how sometimes schools can get themselves into trouble, which is why they're trying to force schools to update their appropriations at the same time as they're doing their forecasts. So it's at least done twice a year. After the forecast piece, it's not required, but it is a good practice. So that's why these are kind of tied together. Any questions?
No comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara.
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 9N, resolve to approve the updated appropriations and estimated resources as attached. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And so those are the adjustments. And then these are then these are more of the official documents that are used at the county. These are the actual documents I submit to the county, which have the same information. And the appropriations one is a little different where it tells you what your initial, what the modifications are, and then what the total appropriations are on the right.
Any comments or questions? Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski,
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, item passes 5-0. Item 10, closing items. Item 10A, announcements.
Oops, there we go.
The next regular meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for March 18th at 6 p.m. Item 10B, resolve to adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Chase,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaelic,
Yes.
Mrs. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
Ms. O'Meara,
Yes.
Mr. Dosen.
Yes, meeting is now adjourned. Have a great evening, everyone.